you're not a job. You're not jobless. You're not jobless. You be like, yo, I'm an entrepreneur. You notice that when you go fill out applications, because entrepreneurs go to fill out applications. I mean, the ones that have it hard is an entrepreneur, because everybody that's an entrepreneur is not, you know, going through tough times. Sometimes you have, it's like easy for certain ones of us to just get it, you know. So like you jump on the right merchandise or the right stock or the right type of gig or just the right fit for you, and you jump in. Like maybe you're a car dealer, or real estate, and you jump in the market and everything's just flowing for you. But what do you do when it slows down? Like when it slows down and you're like, damn, things aren't selling as fast as they used to. The market's kind of like oversaturated, or eviction rates are up, or the cars are just sitting on the lots, and you're like, dang, what do I do now? How do I get past this? Like, what do I do? How do I? Then you find yourself at, like the local unemployment office, or, you're like, oh, maybe I should get unemployment, or, maybe I should find a new niche. Maybe I should become a content creator. Maybe I should start playing video games on Twitch. Maybe I should do TikTok, start trying to sell TikTok, do reviews, different things like that, and some of that might get you a sales, it might not. From an artist standpoint, I find myself at the, when I go to put in my applications and it says like, are you employed, unemployed, or self-employed? And, I always put self-employed. I wonder if it actually makes a difference, because it's like when you say you're unemployed, they're like, oh my God, he's obviously not trying. Versus when you say self-employed, they're like, well, he's trying. He's trying. He's trying. He's not completely wasting time. So why don't we give the self-employed guy a chance? I'm like, if you really want to get a job, show that you're already working, you're employed, and when they're like, yo, so what do you do for self-employment? Well, I do what I do. You could just lie and be like, I do this. Whatever job you're applying for. So if you're going in for a chef position, you just lie and tell them you're a chef. If you're going in for like landscaping, you lie and tell them, yeah, I got 10 years landscaping experience. Everybody done cut some grass before. I'm gonna just be honest. Yeah, we've all cut grass. So I feel like that in its own, you've used a weed whacker. So that in its own is lawn care experience. If you're from the South and you notice you cut grass, if you've done it for an experience, even cutting your grandmother's grass or your auntie's grass growing up as a kid, you're automatically just super experienced in lawn care service. You be talking about bluegrass and all sorts of vegetables and how to grow them once you get land done right, and how to plant this, and figure out that you can actually shear things into a design. Now you find yourself turning somebody's bush into a duck, and you're like, I made a duck. That's what's up. Anyway, it's like, yo, it's so much. You get into the forklifting thing, you just tell them, yeah, I drove a forklift. I drove a car, so it can't be much different than driving a forklift. I figure it out. I play video games. Something will get right. About to go try to watch that Gran Turismo movie. Now, I used to wonder, like, yo, are there really any jobs where you can actually do critics? Like, and be like, yeah, I'm gonna be a movie critic, and just sit back, and that counts as an entrepreneur's job. I watch YouTube videos and they pay me for it. I wish they told me the partnership is something like that. I haven't figured out how to watch paid videos. I just be watching everybody's video, you know. But my whole point is like, you want to get a job, but you want to get the job that you want, because you don't want to just be walking off of jobs or bouncing. That shows, lack of commitment. That shows that you can't commit to anything, or you can't finish anything. So it makes it harder to get the next job if you just go in there and be like, I don't like this, and walk out. A lot of people find themselves holding on to miserable positions, the positions that make you feel some type of way every day you wake up. You like, why am I going to this job? I know it's something better. But you got that job and ain't no other place calling you right now. So you got to just deal with it, or, this is why I say everybody should be an entrepreneur. Just try not to be a jobless entrepreneur. And to me, I'd be like, yo, I know it gets hard. It gets hard. Them bills start coming in. The light bills coming in, the mortgages. Even myself, I got to pay whatever I gotta pay in around like each week I'll be like just running like "Ugh, I gotta get this money up all costs any means necessary. Just don't do anything that's not necessary to get this money, you know. So I find myself like racking my brain like, yo, how can I up my website income? How can I get that to go up? Like, that's all it is. Like when your back's against the wall, you think of ideas to get your back off the wall. That's how you got to stand up. Some of us will sit down, but a lot of us stand up. You got to meditate. I just said like a 20-minute prayer or at least a 15-minute prayer while before I went live this time. I just was like, God, please just let me get a job I can't get fired from. Like something that's that easy for me to do that I can't get fired. And it's not even that it's got to be simple because I don't mind hard work. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. I don't mind getting on a rooftop. I don't mind doing a lot of things. It's just, it's always like that person that could just say, F it, I'm going to give you the job. You look like a good person. Like you're going to make sure you got morals. You're going to make it on time. You ain't going to be drunk on the clock or drinking or anything like that on the clock or catch you stepping out smoking weed or whatever. I know when you on my time. That's how they go. I'm still trying to master the ability of hiring people. My lack of communication skills kind of makes it hard for me to be like, hey, I'm hiring. I got to figure out how to put those job listings up. I got the Indeed Max or the Indeed for employers, so I can actually just go figure that out. And it's like trying to post the fact that you're hiring and then figure out how to pay the employee because most employees be like, well, shoot, but most of the time I figure out if I go through something like Indeed, there won't be I need my money now. I can just offer them the option that if you make sales, you can cash out today. You know, don't be taking my idea either. But anyway, I'm just playing. You can take whatever. Anyway, it just be like, yo, jobless entrepreneur talk. Like, what is it for? Well, it's to pay bills. That's the only reason we go to work. We go to work just to pay bills and eventually, occasionally do some fun things like traveling the world, when you got enough money saved up. Or sometimes your job or entrepreneurship can take you across the world. Those are the most amazing jobs. And then again, when it came to that prayer that I said, a minute ago, I also prayed that maybe I can get my company going well enough to where that's the job that I can never get fired from because, you up sales and create more jobs. I'm gonna be honest, once my sales go up, it's automatically gonna create more jobs because folks are gonna be asking me, what do you do? What do you do to get so much money? How are you doing this on your Damian John or your Carl Kanai type of thing deal? You top fashion designers. I say them because they're both black. It's no. I bought the book of the creator of Nike, right? Because he's a shoe seller, shoe dealer, and I make shoes. So my main goal is to figure out how to sell my shoes. So I bought the book. I'm getting ready to read a little bit of it. I read like the first page of it. So I'm gonna read it because Nike's a very successful company. So and if I want to be a successful company, I should read books about the starting point of every successful company that my business is something like or is in the field because reading is fundamental anyway. It's fundamental. I didn't mean to say fundamental, but you know what I'm saying. It's fundamental. Reading is critical to being successful. You got to know how to read, or you got to know somebody that knows how to read. You feel me? It's getting dark, so bear with me. This is when I fall into my, late night thoughts sometimes, while the sun's setting. I hope everybody's having an amazing evening, and it only gets better from here. And if you're chiming in to my page, I thank you. I thank you to those that actually came in. I thank you to everybody that sticks around and watches to the end. Thank all of y'all for being so amazing. You did not have to watch my video, yet you did. So, I'm gonna make it interesting, as interesting as possible. And I'm hoping that I'm able to give you some sort of jewels from my perspective. Being 38 years old, having worked 30 something odd jobs in my whole entire lifetime, from, basically I guess like 14, working like in school work programs at 15 or 15 and 16. I was able to get my first actual jobs, so to speak. I worked at Little Caesars as well as Panera Bread. Not at the same time. I also worked a couple other jobs while in high school, And then, I graduated high school and started my ultimate adventure, All while, at 16, I did my first mixtape. It was garbage. It was freaking garbage. And in the middle of that, I was, going to the flea market with my uncle and, reselling clothes that I was able to buy or either my grandmother bought. And they got, too small for me. And I was like, well, shoot, I just sell it, make me some extra money. Also, like drawing and selling my art at the time, I mean, it was like cartoon art, like, Dragon Ball Z pictures and stuff, like pictures of Dragon Ball Z characters. I realized if somebody was going to pay me $5 for it, why not do it? Why not give it to them? And they, hey, draw me another one. I have another five for you. I didn't realize there are probably kids who were using this as a poster. And I didn't realize it. I was the poster guy at that moment. I was the guy that could draw you an anime poster with the rest of the kids that could draw an anime poster. And it was only like maybe a few kids that paid me like a few dollars for them posters. Like some of them, they kind of like did favors for it. Like, you know, I want to say extortion. To be like, hey, bro, you want to make sure don't nobody jump on you. Sometimes I did it for friendship. I did it completely because, hey, you get the biggest kid in the school. You draw? Bro, let me have it. That's a Dragon Ball Z. That's Goku. Let me have it. You don't need it. You can draw another one. And, you give it to him, and then he becomes your friend. And, the next time you go out to class, there's another kid that's big, too, and he's, like, trying to take your lunch money. And, Al Suba walks up, like, what you doing, bro? This my little homie. And you like, yeah, what he said. That was me back in the day, utilizing my talents to make friends, And naturally, it happened itself. Like, because, obviously some of them couldn't draw. They couldn't sketch. And I was able to do it, I've also sold my music when I was making beats. I sold at least 2 mixtapes. Now, look, they got over on me, because a beat tape is a beat tape. And they kind of got over with on me. I actually traded a beat tape to an Atlanta artist or an artist that said he was from Atlanta. This was when I was like 18. I had just came back from Florida, after going down there to kick it with my mom after I graduated high school. I had turned 18 and came back. I spent like a year down in Florida, but when I came back, I was broke. I ain't had nothing but a couple beat CDs at my grandma's house. They was some nice beats. I tried to sell them to my cuz. He ran off with one of the beat CDs. We ain't gonna worry about it. That's water under the bridge. But yeah, so in college, I was able to sell one of those beat CDs for $250. It only had 12 beats on it. So you do the math, and yes, I feel like he got over on me. But, at the end of the day, I don't know whether that artist made it or not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've heard instrumentals that sounded like those instrumentals that were on those CDs, but that's 18. I'm 38 now. You know what I'm saying? So, and I also sold some to an artist that I think it was Dolph. I'm not really sure, but it don't really matter. Like somehow I really do feel like that's who it was. But anyway, and the guy gave me the CD, and I think that's the name that was on it. But it doesn't even matter. But anyway, he gave me a bunch of CDs and was like, let me get this beat CD, because I let him hit a beat CD. And he was like, yeah, that one hot. That one hot. He said, where you from, bro? I said, I'm from Greenville, South Carolina. He said, word, word, word. What you trying to do for the beat CD? And I'm like, shoot, bro. In my head, I'm thinking, yo, I sold one in Greenfield for 250. So I'm like, yo, 250? That's 250. It's got 12 beats on it, bro. You just said you liked all of them. And he like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Well, shit, he go through his hand. In his hand, he got a whole stack, what looks like 100 CDs. You feel me? And he flipped through them, break them into half. And he like, you say 250, bro? This $500 worth of CDs. He basically gave me 50 CDs. And was like, shit, you sell them, you gonna make your money. I'm gonna take these beats, I'm gonna get on some of them, I'm gonna help you out. You take the CDs, you sell them in Myrtle Beach, that's gonna help you out. So I'm automatically having a look on my face of disappointment because I'm like, well, I'm trying to sell you a CD, a beat CD. I know it's just beats and instrumentals, but I'm trying to get rid of the CD I got and get some money. Why you trying to make me work harder? And he like, look, bro, fuck with me. Just fuck with me. I got you. He hit me with that. I got you. Look, bro, just fuck with me. I got you. And I'm like, all right, come on, give me the CDs because I ain't have no money. I was like, give me the damn CDs. So he gives me the CDs. Automatically, my mind goes into superstar car salesman mode. The first person I see $20. They just was like, here, man, I give you 20 for it. I ain't had no change anyway. So, and I hit them with, hey, this my folks' music, yada yada yada. Check them out. I ain't even nobody. I ain't even hear the music. I never even listened to the CD. I just sold it like this was my people. And like even to this day, I be thinking back on certain things. I be like, well, maybe I should sell my music like it's not me. And I be out here sometimes being like, yo, what's up? My name Josh. I'm a promoter, and I'm promoting this artist right here. Just passing this music out. I'm trying to get him some money. So if y'all could donate, and I'm gonna make sure he gets situated, because he's sitting at the house not doing nothing. He don't think his music good. And you make sure to tell me to be out here next time. It actually went like that one time, and I was like, damn, that shit actually worked. That worked. But I don't really do that. I normally take the super smooth approach and hope that people actually want to meet the artist, and I can sign your CD right then. In 9 days, I got a website. I feel like if you're gonna do music, have a website. If you're gonna pop out with a CD on somebody, have you a website, and make sure your music online as well. That's anything. But if you're a clothing designer, I feel like it's a little harder because you gotta get this inventory of merchandise. Most people don't want to order online, but they do want to order online. Because it's becoming one of them worlds where people shop on Temu or Temu TMU, and people shop on Sheen and Amazon. You know, the whole Zuckerberg effect is out there. So a lot of people are trying to become the next Alibaba or something like that. Which much respect to you. And if you can capitalize and get in on stocks or cryptocurrency, more power to you. Like me, myself, I got lost in the NFT phase of like trying to turn musical projects or musical creations into NFTs, and finally found out that me trying to do it solo was the wrong idea, but I couldn't run into the crew that I needed to actually make the NFTs as a team. Because some of this stuff, you got to create your own community. What's up, my family? Hopefully, y'all become a part of that community. Like I said, one day, I'll be going through my comments. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened one day. I was looking through my comments, and like some of the things were like offensive, and I haven't put the bar in. Like some people say some weird stuff in the comments, and I'd be like, so I just ignore it. And then from then on, I just normally just ignore those weird comments within the live, because I'd be like, that's weird. You can't say that to a guy. You can't say that to a guy. And then, some of it be like, I don't be knowing if they bots or not. So I'd be like, whatever. Now, I remember like watching other content creators like YouTubers. I used to hate on them. I used to be like, damn, why he got 1 million views? He don't even make music. This motherfucker ain't doing shit. And people just trying to watch him. Da, 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 da. But then I had to come out of my feelings and be like, yo, he's actually pretty dope. He actually saying some real stuff, and he's entertaining me. He's worth my subscription. And I would subscribe, and now, I sit there and I like, some of them I take advice from, because a lot of the ones I watched were like so-called business gurus. And sometimes the strategies that they were trying to tell me just didn't work. And I was like, maybe that's just their strategy, and they're going to continue to sell the classes, and it's going to work for some people. And, some people told me I should sell how to make your YouTube pop classes. And I'm like, getting followed by spirit animals. It was either a lizard, or I really should have taken real estate. And I know it's a real method to doing it. When the music pop, I worry about everything else. I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of them people that's like, yo, I'm here till I'm gone. I want to be remembered for epic R&B soul music. But if I can't do that, like one of my friends said, what if you were just meant to go up on YouTube? You was meant to become a greater and help people change their lives as you post your video. And I was like, well, shit, I hope I help them change it for the better then. I hope whatever they doing that's bad, they stop doing it if they watching my live. Because my life ain't all sugar and spice. This shit is not sweet. It's like, I would be like, I fake smile, but I've been got over fake smile, and now I genuinely smile because I'm genuinely thankful for everything. I'm thankful for family. I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for God. I'm thankful for everything I was given in life. Sometimes I don't understand it. Sometimes I wonder why am I happy. I used to sit in Atlanta and feel just happy, like, and be like, damn, this ain't shit. I ain't got no house. I ain't got no car. I ain't got shit. I barely got clothes. I ain't got no girlfriend. Why am I so happy? My cousin asked me that one time. He's like, why are you so happy? I said, I don't know. I think I'm just thankful, cuz. Like, I felt like if I didn't go through this, I wouldn't know what it was. If I didn't live life, I just wouldn't know. And whether I was rich or poor, I'm glad I got to know it. I'm glad I got to know what this was like either way. So, you know, in making it through today, being, September 23rd, the day they said that was going to be the rapture. This is every day where I guess a couple people made a plan above God that I guess God didn't get the whiff of. So we're still here because I don't think God knew it was the rapture, or maybe he forgot. And maybe he just was like, he forgot. Maybe God looking at his Palm Pilot right now, like, oh, it's the rapture today? Well, shit, forget it. We're going to have to wait, reschedule, reschedule, you know? And it's like life, That's why, I got my segments of like the only way to see the light is to make it through the darkness, to face all your demons, you know. Just know that I faced my demons to the point to where I've made friends with them. And God told me it's cool to be like that. Because, keep in mind, God used a demon to mess with Job. So, just pointing that out, It's the whole thing with the whole non-judgmental thoughts because, my ancestors in past lives have been through some things and have done some things. And we're all living in atonement. So I choose to live the right path of atonement through it. I choose to try to do good things, to try to bless forward. If I'm blessed, I'm going to do my best to bless others. Like, that's pretty much it. No matter what, live your life alive. That's coming from the jobless entrepreneur. And make sure you stop by my website, man. You guys, josiefuller.com. Show me some love, please. I need you. I need all of your involvement. And until the end of the year, until December 31st, until it becomes January 2026, I will be giving away a free t-shirt with every purchase. So you shop and buy something, every time you're going to get a free t-shirt. So if you get a pair of shoes, you basically get a whole outfit because you're getting a free t-shirt with it. Or you get a hoodie, you still get a t-shirt. You just get a t-shirt. You get the album, you get a t-shirt. Get a t-shirt. Hell, you get my album, I might go out and paint you something nice, like some fruit or an apple or something. And right now, I think I'm hearing aliens in the background squeaking because it just don't sound like a cat. So I'm waiting for it to jump out. It could be some sort of crazy night bird. Maybe the aliens are here and it really is the rapture. What's that? I'm just messing with y'all. I love you guys, man. That's it, man, for tonight. Look, stay up on it. Stay in God. And once you know love, keep it. You feel me? Keep it.